So let's take a look at the front of the UDM Pro. We have the network settings. So if you click on here, you can see the throughput. And then we can scroll across and click on the settings.
Hi, my name is Cindy and welcome to the Home Automation X channel. Thank you for watching. We have a lot of videos on building your smart home, and we want to branch off into home networking with secure mesh access points and security gateway switches. We are going to show you setting up a Ubiquiti home network. However, I will have to admit, I am not an expert on Ubiquiti Networks or on their UniFi cameras and access points, but we did find someone who is, and he's going to explain all that later in this video. But I thought we could get to meet him first. All right, everyone. Hello, I am here with Monty from Inside Wire. Hello, Monty. I am so glad you could be on our show.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for having me. How's your day going?
Oh, it is amazing. Absolutely awesome. How about yours?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Really good.
Beautiful. Well, where are you from, Monty? And tell us about your YouTube channel.
So if you haven't already guessed by my accent, I'm based in the UK. Similar to sort of what you do with your channel, I do reviews, setups, how-to guide on all things tech. And that can be from networking to security, storage, or just general gadgets, really.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, you are like a one-stop shop for everything tech. I love it. That is brilliant. Okay, so how did we come across your channel? Maybe you could share with our viewers how that happened.
So I was actually introduced to your channel by Grandma Hates Tech. She's actually really funny. So I'm sure I understand she's been on one of your live streams before. So that's how I came across your channel.
Awesome. That grandma, I tell you, she's amazing. Now you specialize in Ubiquiti Networks and their UniFi brand of products. So I want you to tell us about the UniFi UDM Pro we're going to see in this video.
So the UDM Pro is an appliance that's used in both small, medium and large businesses and houses as well. It houses all of Ubiquiti's features bundled into one unit, which is an advanced gateway, and it has 8 gigabit ports on it as well. So this does your networking, CCTV, door access, voice over IP as well. But don't be fooled by the word enterprise. There's a lot of people who have this set up in their house, including me. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit more as we have a look at the products.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And I did put the link into the Inside Wires channel down in the description, along with the social media details where you post about all your latest videos. And I found already that, Monty, you are quite informative. So I definitely encourage people to click on it and get the latest on Ubiquiti and the other network solutions. Now I am going to hand it over to you, Monty, to explain the Ubiquiti UniFi Dream Machine Pro.
Hey everyone, welcome to Inside Wire. Today we're going to be looking at Ubiquiti's UDM Pro, which is their all-in-one security appliance. This network appliance can be used for all types of businesses, small, medium, large, or even if you're like me, you will probably have it set up in your house as well. This machine has all of Ubiquiti's features in one. It has the UniFi Network controller, it has UniFi Protect, it has the Access controller, and it has the Talk controller. I personally have bought into Ubiquiti's ecosystem. Ubiquiti has a wide range of products to go with the UDM Pro. It's a nice clean interface and it's very easy to configure. This video is going to be a first of a series on the Ubiquiti products. Just for example, the next video that I'm going to be recording is on the Ubiquiti cameras. So we're going to be looking at the Protect interface and one of the cameras. If there's anything you want me to cover specifically, leave me a comment in the section below and we'll have a look and try and get the video made for you. However, in this video, we're going to have a look at unboxing the UDM Pro, installing an 8TB hard drive, and then we're going to get it set up and configured. Let's jump straight into it. So this is the UDM Pro. This is the box it comes in. So this is the packaging at the front. Let's just turn it over. And it has all the information on the back of the box itself. So it has a little blurb about the UniFi gateway, how you can configure it, some of its features, the package contents, and what the machine looks like from the front. So before we open up the UDM Pro, let's have a little look at the contents that comes with it. So this is the box that actually comes within. You have something that's called hardware kit. So this is, let's have a look what's inside here. Okay, well, this is really nicely presented. I like this. So This is nicely laid out. You've got your rack clips, you've got your rack screws, you've got some screws to connect up your hard drive, your rack ears to the UDM Pro itself. You have some hard drive screws and you have some rubber feet if you're keeping it on a desk. So this is really nice, I like this. Then you have your rack ears. Let's have a little look at this. Yeah, so you've got two of these, one for either side. That's great, okay. And then inside at the bottom, there is a little instruction book. So let's have a look to the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's have a look at the UDM Pro. That's it right there. So let's have a little look, shall we? So on here we have a little 1.3-inch screen, which we will have a look at shortly. We have the hard drive. This looks like it's pop out. Yeah, we just need to take this little sticker off and it pops out. So we'll look at that when we come to installing the hard drive. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gigabit ports for LAN. So you can use that to connect up your switch. You can use that to whether that would be a core switch, an access switch, or whatever switch you have. You have a gigabit WAN port, which is probably what the majority of people would use for their internet access. And you have one 10 gigabit WAN port and another 10 gigabit LAN port. So that's 2 WAN ports for redundancy, and you have 9 LAN ports in total. If we look at the back of the machine itself, we have a power supply which goes in here, and we actually have a connector which goes onto a redundant power supply. I'll give you some more details in the comments below about this, or in the section below about this one in the description of the video, but this basically allows you to have redundant power supply on this, so it isn't a single point of failure. So now before we turn this on, we're going to install the 8 terabyte hard drive. So just to show you that, this is the 8 terabyte hard drive I've bought. It's a Western Digital Purple. That was bought from Amazon. So if you want to purchase one, feel free, there's a link in the description below for the Amazon one that I bought. So let's have a quick look in here. So we need to take off this little sticker here, and that actually just pops straight out like that. Let's just pop that down. You can see it's capable of actually seating a 3.5-inch drive, which is the bigger screws in the corners, and a 2.5-inch drive, which are the smaller screws. So you could, in theory, actually install a hard drive or an SSD. So for full compatibilities, you'd need to go to Ubiquiti's website, and you can see which hard drives are compatible with this. So to install the hard drive, you would just pop that on the side, and it actually just clips in just there. There's a little clip on the side. So there's only one screw required from here, which I will quickly screw up. So I'm just going to pop that there. Now the connectors are already inside the Ubiquiti box, so we don't need to worry about any connectors for the hard drive. Take the sticker off. We can take that off so we can close that. And then let's just set this to one side. And then we can just pop the hard drive back in and close the box. And there we have it. That's how you install the hard drive into the UDM Pro. So let's get this powered up. So on the screen at the moment, you can see the hardware overview of the UDM Pro. We are going to be focused on the right hand side. We are looking for 2 connections on the UDM Pro. Number 7, which is your internet connection, so you will plug your internet connection into here. And number 3, where you will plug your existing machine that you are using into port number 1. That will basically mean the network, the UDM Pro and the machine you are using is on the same layer 2 network. This will allow you to connect to it. So if we jump into Chrome, we can have a quick look at it. So let's type in UniFi. That will bring up the startup page. So this is step 1 of 6, the UniFi Dream Machine Pro. Give it a name, so I'm just going to call mine UDM Pro and then agree to it. So we click next. sign into UI.com. This basically registers your unit and it allows you to access the machine remotely. If you don't have an account at this point, you can create one. Keeping your network up to date provides you with the latest security performance and features. So this will keep all your updates on the machine, any updated security threats, etc., etc. So we'll keep that to daily and we'll leave it at, I don't know, we'll change it to 3 AM for example, and we'll click next. This gives you a review of the information you've entered in so far. So this is my user account on UI.com, remote access enabled. The device name is UDM Pro, the location, the time zone, and do you want the latest firmware to be installed, which is yes. So we click next. Quick refresh after the update is complete, and then you are prompted with a login page. So what we're going to do is log back into the UDM Pro, and then we're met with the network setup. So we're going to, before we jump into the network controller, let's have a little look around the interface here. So we can go into settings of the UDM Pro. In here we can see the device, who it's registered to, what the uptime is, the last check for updates, what the performance currently is, the hardware specifications, and any storage and capacities. The applications you have installed, so we have the UniFi Network controller. I'm actually going to go ahead and install Protect. So we'll let that one run through. I do actually want to install Access and Talk controller to see what they are, but I will come back and do those. So we'll quickly check for an update to see if there's any updates at this moment. No, and I think we are up to date, which is great. So then we move on to the location. So it will say, does it want to know your location? You can populate your address in here so it knows exactly where it is. And then we have the advanced section. Let's just close this. So SSH, again, you want to turn this on if you ever get locked out of your device. This is another way in. So you want to enable this and it will prompt you to create a password. Device name, if you want to rename it, you can do it here. The firmware updates, what release channel you want to be on. So there's a release candidate, and if you want to be on the beta, you can be on the beta. If you want to restart the device, power off, factory reset, or download support files. So if there's any further debugging or troubleshooting you need to do, you can download the support file from here. So let's go back to the main page. You can now see Protect has appeared because we've installed that. Let's go into users. So in here you can see who has access, your admins page, and any groups you want to create. So let's jump in and have a look at the network. So we're greeted by this front page, which is nice. So before we start, we have a theme in the top right hand corner up here. From there you can change it into the light mode or dark mode, depending on however you prefer. So I prefer this to be in dark mode. So what we're going to quickly do is run through the settings on the left hand side. So we have this dashboard initially, which shows you your throughput and latency. It shows internet capacity, how many Wi-Fi clients you've got, guests, switches, etc. We then have the Wi-Fi metrics. In this point, you can actually have a date customization, so you can change your date range to whatever you want to do. From here, we have the access point retry rate. Unfortunately, I don't have any data due to the minimal uptime of this. The airtime, and any drop packets, so that's visible, and in here you would see any anomalies if there are any. The Wi-Fi client, so if there's any failures, and time to associate. We move on to statistics, and on here it will show you how much traffic has gone through your network. We can see on here we have less than a gig, and then it breaks it down further in terms of web, network protocols, file transfer, network management, and any instant messaging. There are some further ones, which is apps, so it breaks it down by individual applications, and then we have individual users as well, so you can see where most of the network traffic is going. We then have map, which actually maps out your topology or how your network is set up. So at the moment we just have the UDM Pro and the desktop plug straight into it, into port 1. As you expand your network, this will grow into whatever else you've added on. The additional part on here is you can define a floor plan for office spaces or even a house. If you have multiple buildings, you can actually map out a floor plan where your access points are, where your switches are located, which is quite handy to troubleshoot any issues in any areas. We then move on to devices. Devices shows what devices are connected to the network from the UniFi perspective. So if you have any access points configured, if you have any switches configured, this will all show up in this area. Then we move on to clients. So this is all the devices you have attached to your network, whether it be wired, wireless. You have some filtering options here at the top to go via wired or wireless, or users and guests. So we'll change that back to all. You can change the settings in terms of list view or box view, whichever you prefer. When you click on the devices, you actually get a pop out on the right hand side, which gives you a bit more information, such as MAC address, the IP address is already on there, the uptime, what network is on, if it's on a different VLAN. And if you have DPI set up, you can actually look further into where their traffic is going. The next one we have, let's just close this. So the next one we have is insights. So this again takes you a little bit further into details. This is similar to the client list, but it gives you a little bit more information. So next we have threat management. So we click on here. So this is not enabled out of the box. I'm going to quickly show you how to enable this. I think it's quite important. So there's a little settings button in the bottom. We click on that. We go down to internet security and click on threat management, and we will enable this. Two different options you can pick from here, IDS versus IPS. So IDS is you receive an alert when you get an intrusion. IPS automatically blocks the threat on your network. You have different levels of sensitivity depending on the protection type. Please bear in mind, the more you add on there, the more memory and CPU the gateway would use. So we're just going to apply those changes. Then we're going to go back to threat management. And then over here, you'll see a map of the world. And it will give you, if you scroll a little bit further down, it gives you threats by severity. At the moment, there's no threats detected, which is great, but it shows you any high, medium, or low when they were. The traffic log, endpoint scans, and honeypot. Good thing on this is if you want to block, if you know you're specifically getting attacked from an IP in a certain country, for example, you can go off and block it. So if I wanted to block off, say for example, Greenland, I can click on it. Just zoom out a little bit and it will say Greenland block, and it will filter out all IPs coming from that area. So quite good to do that. Moving on, we have events. This is anything that's connected, disconnected from your network. It will pop up on here. You have alerts. So any alerts that are on your network, again, will pop up on here. The Help Center directs you to the UniFi website. And then we have the settings. So if we click on the settings here, I'm not going to run through all these settings right now. There will be another video which actually shows you how to set up your UniFi network, and which we will run through all these settings. But you can see this is all on here. One thing probably worth highlighting though is going into controller settings and setting up your backup. Make sure you enable a backup, auto backup, to give you your files in case your UniFi goes down or you need to factory reset it. You can actually just use this option here to restore from backup. So what we want to look at now, let's take a look at the front of the unit to show you the touch screen on there. So let's take a look at the front of the UDM Pro. We have the network settings. So if you click on here, you can see the throughput. You have the clients. This shows the wired, wireless, and guests. About, so what version of the UniFi network I'm running. If we click on Protect, you can see the motion events, how many cameras, and the version. And then we can scroll across and click on the settings. this, we can set the brightness of the screen to whatever percentage we want. This is also controllable by the main UniFi system. The color of the background, the fan speed, so currently it's set to auto, but you can adjust this if you need to, and you can actually control the device from here, so start it up or shut it down. And then the last section, we have the about, so you can see the system CPU, memory usage, the WAN and LAN IP addresses, the temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit, the uptime of the machine, the board revision, so the hardware inside, and also the version of the UDM Pro that's being run. I hope you found this video useful and enjoyed it. If so, give me a thumbs up below. As I said earlier, this is a first of a series on Ubiquiti. So if you're wanting to learn more or see exactly what I'm going to be setting up, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell and you'll be notified when a new video is uploaded. If you want to see anything specific around Ubiquiti, please drop me a comment in the section below. This is Inside Wire, and I'll see you in the next one.
We are back, and that was a very informative video. Thank you for that, Monty. Now, the UDM Pro looks like a great device for your home.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's great for, as I mentioned earlier, managing your network with the advanced security gateway that protects you from the outside world, from your intruders coming in. And along with this, you have the capabilities of running your CCTV cameras, your door access, and your telephony as well.
Brilliant. Well, I don't know about y'all, but that was definitely a lot to chew on. Great information there. And I definitely encourage you to subscribe to Inside Wire's channel. We put the link down below in the description, and we hope you learned a lot from this video, as I know I did. Leave a comment on how this collab went and if we should do more of them. You can see our latest and greatest right here on the side. Subscribe to see more videos, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget, check out our website at homeautomationx.com. Thanks for watching.